Hi everyone. Today I continue the second part of question and answer for real estate exam preparation in California. And thank you for those who have subscribed and view my first part. The question from 1 to 30. Today I will make from 31 to 54 of the section property interest. So. If you watch this video, I spend time to make it for you. Please subscribe. It's the way to help me to go ahead with other parts of the questions and preparation for your exam better. So continue. Number 31. All of the following are factors generally considered when determining whether an item of personal property has become real property, except A. Agreement between the parties, B. Permanence of the installation, C. Cost of the article, D. Relationship of the parties. So the correct answer is C. The five tests of a feature are intention of the person attaching it, method of attachment, adaptability of the item, agreement of the parties, and relationship of the parties. Next. Number 32. Which of the following is not a test for a fixture? A. The intention of the parties. B. The method of the attachment. C. The agreement of the parties. D. The time of the attachment. The correct answer is D. The time of attachment is not a test for a fixture. The other items mentioned are all used to determine whether personal property has become real property and thus a fixture. 33. Which of the following best describes what a landlord-owned apartment building and a condominium project have in common? A. The tenants each receive a separate bill for property taxes. B. Occupants of both each have an estate in real property. C. Both properties are regulated by the Subdivided Lands Act. D. Occupants of units in both properties would have a fee simple estate. The correct answer is B. An estate is a possessory interest in real property. Both tenants in an apartment building and owners of units in a condominium project have such an interest. Number 34. When an owner of real property is called a riparian owner, the land in question would border A. A river, B. A watercourse, C. A flowing stream, D. Any of the above. The correct answer is D. Any of the above. When a landowner has riparian rights, it is the right to reasonable and appropriate use of water from flowing source, such as river, stream, or watercourse. Number 35, the personal, revocable, and unassailable permission of authority to do one or more acts on the land of another without possessing any interest therein is the definition of A license, B. An easement, C. An encroachment, D. An option. The correct answer is a license. This is a good definition of license. An easement and an option are not revocable, and an endorsement does not involve the permission of the owner of the property. Number 36. Which of the following is considered real property? A. Land and buildings. B. Artificial items which are immovable by law. C. Easement that convey rights of way over adjoining land. D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. Real property includes land that which is attached to it physically or legally, and appurtenances, including easements. Number 37. The right to use, possess, enjoy, transfer, and dispose of a thing to the exclusion of all others most accurately describes A. An estate. B. Real estate. C. Ownership. D. Equity. The correct answer is C. um, Ownership. The explanation is this is a textbook definition of ownership. It could apply to personal property as well as real property. 38. In which of the following ways does real property differ from personal property? A. It is immovable by law. B. In the method conveyed. C. In the acquisition and transfer of title. D. In the type of loan instruments. The correct answer is A. It is immovable by law. Real property is immovable by law. Personal property is generally movable. Real property is immovable and personal property is movable. 39. 2 years in a 10-year lease. The lessor and lessees agree to terminate the rental agreement, with the lessees vacating the property and the lessor not demanding any further payment of rent. This is known as A. Reformation, B. Release, C. Surrender, D. Constructive eviction. The correct answer is C. This is an example of the surrender of lease, where the lease is terminated by mutual consent of the parties. 40. When renting residential property, the amount of a deposit which a lessor may legally receive from a lessee is determined in a party by which of the following: A. The number of square feet in the building. B. Whether the unit is furnished or not. C. The number of children and pets who will occupy the premises. D. The number of adults who will reside in the unit. The correct answer is B. Whether the unit is furnished or not. The explanation is the maximum deposit a landlord can legally receive depends on whether another unit is furnished. The basic rule is 2 months rent on an unfurnished unit and 3 months rent on a furnished unit. So the correct answer is B. 41. Which of the following would not constitute constructive eviction by a lessor? A. Failure to repair property damage caused by the tenant's improper care. B. Turning off the utilities during the winter. C. Failure to maintain the property in habitable condition. D. Extensive and unwarranted alterations to make to the property. The correct answer is A. Failure to repair property damage caused by the tenant's improper care. The explanation is constructive eviction occurs when an action by the lessor causes the property to be uninhabitable. If the damage is caused by the tenant's improper care, that would not be a constructive eviction. Number 42. Indefinite duration is a characteristic which is particularly descriptive of an A estate for years, B estate for a period to period, C estate of inheritance, D estate less than freehold. The correct answer is C, estate of inheritance. The explanation is an estate of inheritance is a fee simple estate. In order to be a fee simple estate, it must be indefinite in duration, capable of being conveyed during life and or upon death. 43. In addition to the land and those things that are attached to the land, certain things are called appurtenant and are real property. Which of the following would not be an appurtenance? A. Watercourses. B. Trade features. C. A dwelling. D. A fence. The correct answer is B. Trade features. So the explanation in trade features are considered personal property, all the other choices are real property and benefit the land. 44. Which of the following is an interest but not an estate in real property? A. Remainder. B. Mortgage. C. Reversion. D. Easement. The correct answer is D. An easement. The explanation is a mortgage is a lien, an estate in reversion, and an estate in remainder are freehold estates. An easement is the right of use as a non-possessory interest in the land of another. 45. Lease is renting a business office often attaches certain item to the real property. This item may, prior to the expiration of the lease, be removed provided no substantial damage to the property results of the following, which best exemplifies such items: A. Trade fixtures. B. Feature for manufacturing purposes. C. Article affixed for domestic use. D. Any of the above. The correct answer is A. These would be trade features. You would not attack manufacturing equipment in a business office, and items attacked on for domestic use would not be trade features. So the correct answer is A. Trade features. 46. A city's master plan would include A. Access to water, drainage, and sewage. B. Recreational and commercial areas, as well as subdivision design. C. Flow of intercity traffic on freeways. D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. All of these items would appear on the city's master plan as brought up by the Planning Commission. 47. Ownership rights and interest in real estate are called A. Liens or encumbrances. B. Absolute land sales agreement. C. Estate or fees. D. All of the above. The correct answer is C. Estate or fees. Explanation: estate or fees deal with the degree, quantity, nature, and extent of ownership rights and interest in real estate. 48. One of the main differences between real and personal property is that real property A can be held in joint tenancy, B is immovable, C is subject to depreciation over a period of time. D can be wild. The correct answer is B. The primary difference between real property and personal property is that real property is generally immovable. Personal property is generally movable. 49. A lessee rents a building from May 1st to July 1st. His tenancy is A. Month to month. B. Periodic tenancy. C. Fee simple estate. D. Estate for years. The correct answer is D. Estate for years. An estate for years is a leasehold interest for a definite period with a specific beginning and terminating date. A month-to-month rental is a periodic tenancy and has no specific termination date. Number 50. All of the following would be classed as real property except A. An unextracted crude oil. B. Leasehold estate in residential property. C. Uncumulated growth trees. D. Easement appurtenance. The correct answer is B. Leasehold estate in residential property refer to a lease, which is a contract between the landlord and the tenant. This contract would be classified as personal property. So B is the correct answer. That's a leasehold estate in residential properties. 51. Riparian rights. A. Give absolute ownership of adjacent waters. B. Are set forth in a standard title insurance policy. C. May accurately be determined from an examination of public records. D. Include the right to reasonably appropriate water as needed. The correct answer is D. Riparian rights refer to the rights of a landowner whose land touches a river or stream to use a reasonably appropriate amount of water as needed. So the correct answer is D. Number 52, a real estate broker may have difficulty with personal property because its ownership rights and identification may be difficult to determine. This is because personal property can A. Be alienated, B. Be hypothecated, C. Become real property, D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. Personal property can be alienated or transferred, can be hypothecated or used as a security for a loan, or can become real property. Number 53. When the law finds that an owner has a riparian rights, it means he has rights relating to the use of ownership of water from which of the following sources? A. Rivers, streams, and watercourses. B. Underground cavities. C. The arms of a bay. D. All of the above. The correct answer is A. River, stream, and watercourses. An owner has riparian rights when the water on or adjacent to his land is a river, stream, or watercourse. When the water is a lake or ocean, the rights are littoral. littoral. Number 54 is the last question. When leasing commercial property that is merely a shell space, the landlord often agrees to spend a specific amount for a qualified tenant. This amount is property designated as A. A rent payment, B. A tenant improvement allowance, C. A security deposit, D. Earnest money deposit. The correct answer is B. A tenant improvement allowance. Explanation is the tenant improvement allowance permits the tenant to designate specific features to be added to the bare space. Such items will be paid for by the landlord. So this is so we already cover it the